Hey traders, John Howell here, and in today's video, market update educational video, I'm going to be talking about the stock market pullback and what I see on the bigger pictures there. Something really interesting I want to share with you. Also, silver and gold's looking really interesting, especially this silver market right now on that weekly chart. Really interesting stuff. I'm going to talk about that as well. The GDX and GDXJ is also starting to look really interesting as well too. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a Boeing update for you guys that know that I talked about Boeing probably about a couple of weeks ago. I talked about Boeing. And also the US dollar. And that's right, I spelt that wrong. D-O-A-L-L-A-R. But that's right, the US dollar. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, let's get straight into the stock market first. We're going to look at the actual stock market itself and see what's actually going through here. So the thing that I really want to drive home and really get you thinking about is this, is that if we have a look at, let me bring this up as the weekly chart here. If we have a look this, if we have a look at this on, this is the Dow Jones on the weekly chart, we can see that even if we do get a bit of a drop here, you can see how that we don't actually have a lot of room to come down before we hit some significant resistance or support, should I say, around these levels through here. So even if we do get this little drop down here in the Dow Jones, if we go to the daily chart here, you can see how that's just a drop from there through to there, which is probably likely to happen on a short-term basis. And that's where we're probably likely to stop and pause right there. Same for the S&P 500. S&P 500 definitely broke out of its range through here, as you can see. So it definitely broke out of its range. It came back up, hit the resistance, and now it's actually broken back down. If I go back to that daily chart once again, you can see how it's done that as well too, up and then rolled over. So I see the S&P having a bit more of a fall to the downside, but probably only likely to get down to the bottom here before we actually start to head back up again. I don't see this being something big and so on and so forth. So that's basically what I'm looking at there for the markets there. So and the same for the Nasdaq as well too. The Nasdaq, as you can see, that even if the Nasdaq does start to come open, we can see the Nasdaq actually has a bit more of a room to fall down. But once we start to break down, even on the Nasdaq, we can see that we're pretty much likely to start to see. Yeah, let's go back to that weekly chart once again. Yeah, so the Nasdaq's actually got the furthest to fall. But as you can see, we've actually got quite a long way for the Nasdaq to start to drop here. It's gone up the most, so it's probably likely to start to see the pullback the most. But this is not the top in the market. I don't believe. I believe that we're just seeing a normal, healthy correction in the market before we start to see another nice bull run in the market through there. If I start to look at things like, say, the SPY, same sort of thing, right? We actually broken down through. Look at that volume behind it and a very big breakdown bar. So that's actually breaking below these support levels through here, as you can see. So I do expect to see a lot more selling coming into the SPY and also the other markets as well too. Russell 2000, same sort of thing. And the same sort of thing for the other markets as well too. And look at this here. Isn't this really interesting to see on the transports, right? We had support here, support. We came down, found support. Once we actually broke it, then came up. Look at that there. Came up, rejected it, closed lower, massive volume spike through here. And then that was the sell-off that we've actually started to see. So really interesting to see that reversal pattern happening through there once we started to reverse through there. Once we actually broke down, then we actually started to see a reversal through there. So that's what I'm seeing on the actual indices, guys. The overall big picture, guys, is that we're likely to see some form of a pullback. If I bring up, say, the S&P 500 once again, let me just bring up, say, this chart here. Once again, we can see just some form of a pullback down to significant support levels. But then, you know, we're in a big bull market, right? And we've had a very nice run to the upside. So a nice pullback is going to be very healthy for the markets. And then the buyers are going to come out big time and scoop this thing up. And we're going to start to see a very nice move towards the end of the year. Now, what I truly believe is we're probably likely to see something like this here. Remember at the end of 2018 to the start of 2019, we had this drop down through to here. Well, that's probably likely to start to see a drop down. We're probably likely to find support, and then we're probably likely to spend the rest of the year going up. Within the upward movement, we're likely to see pullbacks as well too. Make sense? So that's what I'm seeing through there. Let's go have a look at the silver and gold market through here. This is the gold market. We still continue to be very, very bullish on gold through here. Just holding this really nicely, just sideways. Got a nice little sort of up candle or up bar today or yesterday, or should I say last week. So I do expect to see a lot more upside. The interesting and the funny thing is about gold is that we've continued. Let me bring up, say, a weekly chart here. We've continued to go up really nicely throughout. We came down sideways and now we're just starting to slowly break out of this level through here. You can see we actually had a very nice break above. Now we're just slowly increasing up through there. So gold has been going up slowly over time through there. Now looking at through to the silver market as well too. Look at this silver market. Like silver's really, really just sort of squeezing up through. If I squeeze my chart up, look at this, just squeezing into this triangle pattern. We've got a bit of a false breakout, so I definitely see a move down. You can actually see the same sort of thing that happened over here as well too. Look at that there. Had a bit of a flush down, which was a false breakout, and then we had a bull move. Flush down, which is a false breakout, then we're likely to see a bull move. But this time, the bull move is probably likely to be a lot bigger in the markets. And I bring up, let me bring up, my weekly chart through here. So as you can see, right, the last sort of few weeks has been holding strong through here, and you can see how we definitely had a move up, a move down. We're finding a lot of support through here. We've actually created some sort of higher high through here, really basing out through here right now. So if I squeeze my charts up, then that's why I definitely see a nice move up to at least 21 on that there, if not a lot higher. If I do a sort of 1-to-1 projection from there through to there, and then I project that out, as you can see, it's actually quite a bit higher if we do a 1-to-1 projection right up to those actually major resistance levels up through there, possibly a bit lower through there, but that's actually sort of a 1-to-1 up, down, and then another up move through there. But that leg through there, guys, what I'm talking about through there is probably likely to happen. Let me move this thing through to here and move this down. It's probably likely to happen, maybe over a few months, 2, 3, 4 months, you know what I mean? And within the pullbacks, you can see here in any bull market, you get the move up, pullback, move up, pullback, move up, you know what I mean? So that's what we're probably likely to start to see with silver as well too, but a nice breakout of this level here, and we're likely to see some really, really nice movement into there. So that's why this is sort of, to me, this is the start of another move to the upside. So that's what I'm seeing through there when it comes to gold and silver. Now let's go have a look at the GDX and the GDXJ. Look at this here on the GDX and GDXJ. We're real on the GDX. Look at this here, right? We've got in this sort of short-term triangle pattern, but we're in this sort of lackluster, not really much going on. But if I bring up my weekly chart through to here, let me actually just open that right up a bit more. Right, this weekly chart, you can see it's doing nothing through here. So once we break up and above through there, let me bring up this more of a longer term chart. Look at this here, guys. Once we start to break above 30, then we're really, really, really likely to start to see a move up, back to the upside. And that's what I'm overall seeing through there. And once again, looking at now the GDXJ, same sort of thing as well too, right? But the GDXJ, look at that right there. It's right on that level there. Had a bit of a false breakout. Now it's in that triangle pattern right now. We're likely to break out. But once we start to base out through, if we get a nice little push up, we're definitely likely to start to see a nice move up. Well, shouldn't say definitely, because there's no definiteness about the markets at all, right? We have a good chance of them breaking and going for a run. And then I would say on a short-term basis, guys, we're likely to run to at least around about that level there, which is just above the 50 level. As you can see, it's pretty free and clear through there. So what that looks like on the actual daily chart is that through there. Once we actually start to break this level through here, we've got a pretty nice movement to the upside. Traders, and trading is all about viewing the markets, but having a really good trading system. And if you'd like to learn my trading system, how I trade the markets, then that very first link in the description, click on that and you'll be able to join my webinar today, where I'm going to walk you through all the details to my trading system. And you'll be able to see all that. Now let's actually move forward into Boeing as well too. I know a lot of people have been really, really, really interested in Boeing and what's Boeing doing and so on and so forth. Here is the thing about Boeing, okay? I am not in Boeing at all right now because it did not confirm my entry. I know some of you guys for the last few weeks saying, John, what about Boeing? What about Boeing? What about Boeing? What about Boeing? I did not get into Boeing at all. Just because I think the market is going to do something, I don't trade based on what I think. I always trade based on a plan. And what I was looking for was not exactly what we got here, right? I was looking for a lot more definite breakdown. I just didn't get my setup there, so I did not trade it. I'm not in Boeing right now, even though it still had, even though that at the time I said we're probably likely to start to see a nice move down from here. I don't trade based on that, guys, right? I trade based on my pattern and what I'm seeing through here. And the interesting thing is about the markets, guys, is that we need to continue bend and mold and flow with that. Now, why am I mentioning that right now? Is because one, we did get the breakdown, but now we're just sort of getting the move up through here, right? We're just sort of getting through here. So that tells me, the two things are going to happen is that we start to actually get a breakdown. If we get the breakdown, then we're likely to start to see a very nice move to the downside, probably around that 270 level, I think it was, for memory. If I actually bring that level from there through to there, bring that down. Okay, if we actually start to break down, then we're probably likely to start to see a move down towards that 270 level there, around about there. Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about Boeing. Right now, as I said before, I'm not in Boeing because it did not confirm my entry, so I'm not in it right now. Even if it does go down, I'm not in it. What I am saying right now is this actually could be some sort of false breakout. If we start to get back above 325 to 330, there's a very good chance we're likely to race right back up to 375 and then continue back up. Okay, so if you are jumping in Boeing right now because I said so on a YouTube video, firstly, you're an idiot for doing that because you never just trade based on a YouTube video. You always trade based on a plan, right? I'm trading the markets and I'm reading the markets to you, but when I'm reading the markets, whenever I say I'm looking for a trade, I'm still looking for my really good trade setup, right? I did not get my trade setup when it comes to Boeing. So I did not trade it. I'm still not in it right now. Even if we have a big down day tomorrow, right? Which we're probably likely to with the markets, but we may or may not. Okay, I'm not in it right now. So therefore, guys, if you did get into Boeing, then again, you're an idiot because you just should never just based on that's based on hope, right? Or John said so, and he's got the last few calls, or he got Tesla right, and he got JP Morgan right, you got the stock market right, you got Goldman Sachs right. It's like just because I got all these right, I also got those right based on a system that I was trading. Makes sense? So. That's what I'm seeing there right now, guys. So just be careful. If you are short Boeing right now and you think it's going to go down because of all the bad news, there's a very good chance that this can actually start to break up and out and above this level through here, back above 325 to 330. If we start to see that, this whole thing here right now, let me do this here. This whole thing here right now is nothing but one big false breakout, and then we have actually a very good chance of then holding and then rallying right back to the upside, back to the 375 level. So that's what I'm saying there right now. And once again, guys, if you just got into Boeing based on just this YouTube video, you need to get out of the market and just be flat and only enter the market once you yourself know what a good trading setup is. I cannot count how many times people come to me saying, oh, John, I made $2,000 in the markets today. Like, I don't give a shit if you made 100 grand. All I care about is, did you follow some sort of a system that you can replicate for the rest of your life, right? Because what good is it's like, oh, right? I know so many people that made $500,000 or more, 600-700 grand in Bitcoin when the market was bubbling. Guess what? Gone, lost. Because you can't replicate that, right? All I care about is what can you do on a continuous basis, right? Because I would rather you have a system where you can generate consistently 7-8 times out of 10 a nice 50 to 100% return on your profitable trades than getting in and you think it's a good idea, right? And there's really no system around that. See what I'm saying there? Trading is all about having a systematic approach, and that's where that confidence comes from. I must say that right now with Boeing, because I know a lot of people are in Boeing right now based on a YouTube video that I did a few weeks ago. And I said to you guys on that video, I'm waiting for a big breakdown candle, and I did not get my entry candle. I did not get my setup. So I'm not trading it. I'm not in it right now. I don't care if it keeps going down right now, okay? You must be getting into a trade based on a system, based on your set of rules that you believe in. Because how do you think you're going to make money long term? I'm not just talking about like having a really successful trade, one trade, long term. Anyway, I've beat this thing here. I've beat this thing, this horse, whatever that terminology is, right? Once again, guys, if you'd like to learn my trading system and how I trade, the very first thing in the description, click on that. You'll be able to hop onto a training that I'm running today, and I'll teach you all the steps to my trading system that I actually look for, and you'll be able to see the reason why Boeing didn't actually confirm my trading system. You'll be able to see all the details of that. And last, but certainly not least, we're looking at the US dollar. Now, the interesting thing about the US dollar is I've been saying with the US dollar that I'm expecting the market to rally up, and then I'm expecting the market to roll over. And that's exactly what's happened. You see we rallied up on very low volume, and now we're rolling back over on heavy volume. So I see a lot more downside to come in the US dollar, which to me, obviously is going to give a bit more of a buoy, that's the word, buoy, right? A bit more of a buoy action to gold as well too. So it's probably likely to see weakness in the stock market, at least for the next week or two, weakness in the US dollar, and probably really, really bullish gold, and especially silver, because silver hasn't caught up yet to gold, but we're about to see a really, really nice move out of silver, I believe. It's probably likely to start to see a big catch up to what gold is doing there. So, and I'm really excited for that. I'm prepared for it as well too. So it may not happen now. It may happen next month or the month after, but guess what? I'm positioned for it. So when it does, you better believe I'm cashing in on that move that silver's going to happen. I don't know when, but when it does, you better believe I'm in it, and I'm saying thank you very much. I knew this was coming.